I've frozen.
You had.
Like Elsa in that film. Frozen. Let it go.
Good evening, maybe. Tell us in the chat. Tell us in
We're
the
actually
chat if
on.
Mike's
Tell us in
useless
the chat.
computer and old man technical skills have got us live with audio. I need to know. Come on, chat. Tell us. You're our
Sexy old man.
producers.
You're our gilf.
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 I have a story about that.
Yo.
I can't tell you that.
Oh. Oh dear.
Graham, do the intros because you're the man.
Hello and welcome to a rather impromptu Saturday night social. I don't think we've ever done this before. It's a Saturday and it's a night time. Well, it is where you are. And we're doing a social.
That Graham's frozen. And that isn't my fault. Listen, I've fixed my Wi-Fi. I was up until late last night working out what the hell was wrong with my computer. So this turns out to be Ginger Island Telecom's problem.
Right. Yeah, but what was the problem? Say it was Bill Gates. Say Bill Gates put 4G in your vaccination and it gave you hemorrhoids.
So what? Windows 11
I wonder
updated.
what that was caused by.
This is what happened yesterday. Windows 11 update. After 3 hours of me trying to work out what was wrong with the damn thing, Windows 11 updated. It reinstalled some drivers that managed the Wi-Fi bitstream, and it just blocked it. It just blocked OBS. It was putting OBS at no bit rate. So I've spent hours and hours trying to make this work. So I was really pleased when you said, Mike, do you want to spend your Saturday night doing it again? Yay!
What a nightmare. I realized that like I can't see you at all. Like I'm just getting a black screen now, and I can't see Scott. But I know what you look like, so that's okay. I can just close my eyes and fantasize.
So Scott's
That's
the gorgeous one. Scott's the gorgeous one. He's in the top left.
So I've heard all these left wing groups are just fucking melting down. That's what I heard.
Do you mean your party?
My party, you mean? It's mine, and I'm going home with my ball because you don't want to play with me.
It's mine, and I'm going to send out an email to all the members before you get to stop me.
Yeah.
It's a bit mad, isn't it?
It's so dumb.
What's your take on this, Scott?
I really am not paying that much attention to it because I didn't think much was going to come of it anyway. And also, like what we can say what we want about the leader of the Green Party, but he's actually gotten quite some momentum going behind him at the moment. So
yeah,
it almost feels as if this sort of your party, whose party, my party, I'll cry if I want to, is sort of just this thing that's happening in the corner, whilst the Greens are sort of almost starting to fill this void of a left-wing party.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does.
But all the Greens I've ever met are pretty socially conservative. I mean, they're for the environment, but it seems to me that it's a more natural progression from someone from the Conservative Party who gives a shit about the environment to go to the Greens, and someone who's a Labour Party member who gives a shit about the environment to go to the Greens, because they're like, oh, well, there's Green Labour. There's people in Labour who, Ed Miliband and his big project and everything. So, but what I like about Zach Polanski is the fact that he's reaching out across the aisle. One of the things I can't stand is when parties just slag each other off all the time. And I thought it was quite demonstrative last week that, when Kemi Badenoch was elected leader of the Tories, Keir Starmer sent a nice tweet saying, best of luck on being the leader. Obviously kind of like thinking, you're going to get fucked. But like, best of luck, right? But then the response to Zach Polanski was like, this guy's a fucking Nazi. He wants to take us out of NATO. He's going to eat your babies. And I was like, oh, fuck off. They could have had the congratulations,
On that subject, did you see that Kamala Harris has put out, she's got a book out about the campaign called 107 Days. And
how long did her campaign last for?
107 days, actually.
How did you know that off the top of your head? You're very clever.
I mean, it's actually quite a coincidence that the book's also called that. That's quite. But in there, she talks about a phone call she had with Trump when she took when the second assassination attempt on him. Remember the guy that was hiding in the bushes at a golf course that they caught?
Yes.
So it fell upon her as the main candidate because Biden had pulled out the contest. So she rang him to say, "Is everything okay? Is Secret Service looking after you, etc., etc.?" And she catalogues that call and literally says, "My daughter is a massive fan of you," and she says hi to your husband, right? And he has this chit chat, this friendly chit chat. And then he says, "Secret Service have been amazing. You guys have been amazing. We've been incredibly well looked after. It's great." He said, "It's going to make it really difficult for me to be nasty to you tomorrow." And she said, well, why don't you just not be nasty then? And he said, "I'll try. I'll lay off a bit," basically. And then the next day he goes out and says she's a communist. And it's like...
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan. Isn't it? It's all performative.
I saw a thing on Facebook, and it was a tweet that sort of put out, and it was a screen grab of the tweet, and it was about like forcing 18 to 28-year-olds to work on farms in America to replace all the migrant labor that had lost. It's like a MAGA thing. They're like,
Brilliant.
And these kids, they'll come along, and instead of going to university and learning about liberalism and being nice, they can come and work on these farms for the good of the state. And I'm like, that's fucking communism. What the fuck, man? That is like the collectivized farming. Are you kidding me? And they're like, yeah, this is going to be a great idea. And I'm like, fuck me.
I think it's also called slavery.
No self-awareness. No self-awareness.
Also, it's that, do you imagine for 1 minute they thought their kids would be doing that? Like when they send their kids to university, they won't expect them to be working in farms, obviously.
No.
Absolutely not. My kids.
None of the politicians who voted for Vietnam sent their kids to Vietnam now, did they?
No.
Absolutely not.
But I think you're right about the Greens. In Brighton, obviously, we have a big Green Party movement, and
they
it does
win back some seats there?
There's the council may be under threat now. And from my point of view, I'm working on a campaign at the moment, and I'm working with Sian Berry, and she's amazing. I've got to be honest with you, she's a very, very good local MP, and
you know AB in our chat.
Yeah,
he's good mates with Sean.
Is he?
Oh.
No,
you shouldn't drop his name.
She's doing great
drop
work
his name.
And doing.
Hey, do you know AB? That's his
It'd be really funny if she says no. Who is he? After he's gone on about what great mates they have after all these years. Sorry, AB, if you're watching this. Have we got any chat? Can someone read out the chat? Because I can't see the chat.
Of course.
Chatter.
Let me scroll back. And
who's out there, Mike? Tell us.
I should mention.
Well,
Gina...
you got. I got it. Can I do it? Because I've never done it.
Of course, Scott. Go for it.
Is that all right?
Yeah, I'll just sit back and.
Joe Lefty is a member for 6 months, superstar. Yeah, so member for 6 months, anniversary and all that. We've got Alan Jackson, Power to the People, Scott, Diz, Richard Grumpy Git, Ellie Chaos, Dark 4x4, all hanging out in the chat this evening, chatting away. So and the gorgeous Yuri 9 what the hell?
Ninfectinov.
Yuri Ninfect.
Urine infection of.
Oh, it's like supposed to be urine infection.
Which I didn't realize till Mike pointed it out.
So
Mike
clever.
was pointed that out. Right? Oh yeah.
It is a very clever username. I like that username.
It is. He's gorgeous, so he can stay. Anyway, right. So that's the people hanging out in the chat this evening.
Cool. I think power to the people with Graham Price appears to be in the bath, according to this as well. So that's
in the bath.
That's a Saturday night thrill for us.
I was going to jump in the water. I was going to jump in the water. It's full of fucking jellyfish today.
Are you on your private island, Graham, by any chance?
Jellyfish are bad. They
am
sting,
on my private island. Did I mention them on my private island? Here's my private island behind me. There you go. Private island over there.
And
Can I
Nice,
ask you a
that, isn't
question, Graham? That's a little private, but at the same time, it'll be funny.
Go on.
Okay.
Do I have a penis? No.
No, I know you don't. The question is, it actually is related to that. Have you like just walked around wanking?
Have I walked around my own private island wanking?
Why
Well,
not? You can
given the
wank
fact,
anywhere you want. That's
Scott,
amazing.
given the fact that I know my mum watches these streams,
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
can't answer
hello,
that.
Mum.
All I can say is, first of all, you know me, and secondly, like, it's a private island, man. You can do what you like. There's no one here. It's like a
I'm so,
but
I'm so
I
sorry,
will say
Graham's
this.
mom.
I will say this, Scott. Um, I've been skinny dipping in the water here, and it's not that good an idea because there's insects that bite you when you're out the water,
So you
and
come
in
out
the
with
water there's
leeches.
jellyfish, and there's the stuff that stings. And if you get a
Leeches.
sting in a particular place, oh, that's not fun. And that might have happened to me.
You can get a jelly ray sting in your wink wink. Okay. What the
The
fuck,
the, the
Scott?
jellies here aren't
Private
too bad.
island, not so good anymore.
The sting from the jellyfish here wouldn't take you to hospital. I don't think it's more like a nettle sting rather than like a bee sting or a wasp sting. Yeah, when you brush against nettles and you get the bubbles on the back of your hand.
You guys, I think we've had our first chat of the
Woohoo!
evening. It's from urine infection. I'm not trying to pronounce the way he has it. I'm not doing it. He's given £5 saying the name is a wee tip of the hat to the alleged incident of the tango twat being pizzed on by Russian hookers.
Ah, right. Yuri, the
Very
Russian
good.
element
I
of it.
get it now.
It's
Oh,
genius.
I get it
I
now.
get it. The name.
Yuri,
That
you
makes
shouldn't
sense.
be paying us to tell us that. We should be paying you for that name. It's just
Yeah.
We should be paying you
Paying
purely for the entertainment that you
contact.
provide
it is amazing.
on a weekly
Top
basis.
notch entertainment.
On a weekly basis, he's
Just
here every
out
week.
of curiosity, guys, I want to give your opinion on the new leaf blower machine that they've got going down the railways to get rid of the leaves,
What are we
called
gonna call it?
Control Alt Delete. How'd you feel about that?
Actually, I really like it. I'm not gonna lie.
I
I was
gonna
gonna
say,
go
Kyrie.
with Leafy McLeaf face or Leafy McLeaf butt bum Leafy McLeaf bum.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, but but I could control alt delete. He's a
Yeah.
winner if you ask me.
It's perfect.
So
It's better than the Mr. Mr.
Yeah.
McLeafer.
Mr. McLeader. So could we talk about this implosion of this group then that, had all these lefties in it, and then, because the leadership was a bit woolly, I guess they didn't really have like a vision of where to go forward with it. Any kind of like, I don't know, movement in that direction. So what do you think? Like, is there any kind of future for your
party or your party, or is that
your party? Your party. Well, it could be Labour, it could be the Democrats, but I'm talking about specifically your party. Now that Zara Sultana, who seems to be the driving force behind it, has checked out, do you think it's just going to dissolve away, just become... Because they are kind of like an independent group of MPs anyway. They're just going to continue doing that?
Because to a great extent, apart from it being, the second coming of Corbyn, it's essentially the Gaza party, because they've sucked in these MPs that stood as independent pro-Palestine MPs. And the Greens, Zach, for all of his faults, etc., he is basically saying, yeah, we're definitely pro-Gaza, pro-Palestine, and also planet, and also this, and also the economy. And here I am in Clacton doing things, basically. So I think, as Scott said, it just feels to me like they should just wrap themselves into the Greens if they're going to do anything.
Yeah.
If Zach's going to leave it.
I kind of agree. Also,
and the Greens have voted, regardless of what we know about the Greens, as you say, being socially conservative as a rule, actually the Greens voted for this guy unanimously. Pretty much. It was a massive swing to him. So they've decided that's where they're going to be. And And just by him adding
very...
the Gaza bit to the Green bit, as already said, we are a wider party, progressive party, than just the environment, which is what they've been seen as for years, really.
Yeah.
Sorry, Scott.
Very People's Front of Judea, People's Front.
It is a bit,
you know, and like, and for me as well, from what I understand, the rift was between actual like progressive lefties and social conservatives. I hear there are a few TERFs in the ranks, which, I mean, you're just asking for more of the same, you know, like it's not an alternative. It's just more of the fucking same shit. You know what I mean? If you're going to be opposition, you're going to have to oppose everything, right? And we all have West Street and getting up saying, oh, well, we're going to be better to the LGBTQ plus community. You're still taking away hormones from trans people regularly. So, you know, don't gaslight us, tell us bullshit. So if we're going to have people in the People's Front of Judea or the Judea's, there can't be any of those people in it. I'm sorry. If you're going to be a progressive party, no social conservatism here. Okay?
Yeah.
Progressive people. That's if you don't want trans rights, fuck off.
I've got a question. What's the difference between me and Tommy 10 Names?
You're allowed...
Hang on, Mike, you had a name for him, didn't you? What'd you call him?
Is it Tiny Nobbinson?
Tiny Nobbinson. What's the difference between me and Tiny Nobbinson? I'll give you a clue as I drink this beer.
Is it that when you went to Panama, nobody tried to deport you?
I'm in Panama.
Hey, I cannot believe that video. I cannot believe it. So anyone that missed
hysterical.
There's a video out of Tiny Nobbinson sitting in an airport lounge complaining that he's not allowed into Panama or Colombia because he has a criminal record. They've effectively told him to fuck off out of their country. And he's going, this is terrible. I just needed a break. I'd organised the biggest march London had ever seen, and I was just tired, and I needed a break, and I wanted to go somewhere where nobody...
capital of the world.
I wanted to go somewhere where nobody knew me except my dealer. But he also
it makes so much sense he was going there.
Yeah.
He was pretty much doing it on stage at that rally. Huh?
This is leopards eating people's faces territory, isn't it? Because he goes on and on and on about immigrants and criminals from other countries coming to Britain and doing things. And it's like, okay, so you're a criminal, so you can't go anywhere else then. You need to stay in Britain. And he's like, I'm not doing that. I live in Spain. I've got an Irish passport.
I'm English, Irish, something.
I can do what I want.
I'm a white guy.
No, it's not about me. It's about them. And don't look at what I'm doing. Look at what those people are doing. Don't look at me getting grifting for millionaires doing this bullshit. Like, at the end of the day, I think, you know, what's been truly infuriating when we talk about political discourse this week is actually arguing with morons who think that there were 1 million people in London last Saturday. It's literally an absolute joke. And as somebody who was at the Stop Iraq War back in 2004, 2005, 3, someone who was literally one of the 1 million people that were at that protest. I mean, these people are fucking deluded. You know, you want to look at aerial footage of that protest, that 1 million march, and then look at aerial footage of last Saturday. There is literally no comparison. There's no comparison at all. There was a handful of people in comparison.
But that's something that all protesters do, though, isn't it, Scott? They always say, like, oh, the police said there's 15,000.
3 million
people. 500,000.
Can I just mention a couple of super chats, guys? Dark 4x4, thank you for the £2. Because you're Graham Nublon, not Isla Prick. I think that's the answer to your difference between Tommy and you. Yuri Infection, thank you for another £2. Organised the biggest marching powder in history.
You know what? It is absolutely hysterical. He says that. I literally watched that movie I finished watching that movie about half an hour ago.
Did you?
The
Marching Powder.
Danny Dyer movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually really enjoyed it. That was very good. So yeah,
That's good value.
but it is another football factory / Green Street /
There's pretty much only one film Danny Dyer can do, isn't there? So
Well, he's great at doing it, and
he's good at it. Why not?
he's good at it, and he's a sexy motherfucker.
The whole thing with the march has been bothering me all week. I've been talking to a few friends who have friends who went there. Right? Well, actually, friends and acquaintances. There's a guy came in to paint.
Really, was it a friend of a friend? You're asking for a friend,
No. Seriously,
are you?
no. I had mates that called me who said they're fucking livid because they've got mates that went, and they've been ringing these mates, brown mates, some of them brown mates who went on this march, right?
The fact that they were actual.
And the thing is, they've been hoodwinked. And
it's mental.
a lot of people have just been sold this idea it was a Pride in Britain, an anti-Keir Starmer thing, and just were not listening to any of the stuff that was going on around it. They were just sold this lie by their social media algorithm or whatever. Yeah. And that's disturbing in a lot of ways. It just bothers me that
it's seeing interviews of people there going, well, so you're racist. You're here at this racist march. Well, this isn't a racist march. Well, Tommy Robinson has organized it, and he's kind of a known racist. Yeah, but I don't necessarily agree with everything Tommy Robinson says, and it's just like you're standing in solidarity. The whole point of you being there is standing in solidarity with him, right?
Name the other things Tommy Robinson stands for, basically.
Yeah, like you don't even know why you're there. We're gonna go do
like
a march.
That's like a Brexit turning up to a Remain march, isn't it? And going, I want us to stay out of the EU, and we're like, well, what are you doing here again?
I'm not a racist. Why are you at a racist rally? You know,
it's the leopards eating people's faces thing all over every time.
And
you see these people, and you're like, are you fucking crazy? They will come for you next.
Yes,
they're not going to go. Oh no, you're one of the good ones.
No, they'll never
that's not
say
going to
that.
happen. That didn't happen with the Jews in the Holocaust. They didn't go, oh no, don't take that one. He's a good one. Don't take his family. Don't take his children and slaughter them. They're good ones. That didn't fucking happen. They killed them all. They killed 6 million people, or 6 million Jews. Of course, a bunch of people who were Romani, gypsies, a bunch of people who were homosexual, trans people. They were the first people they went for. Anyone who they thought was a bit communist or a bit even socialist.
People
they don't go, oh no. Do you know how delusional it is? It's like people who are polite to their chat GPT and say please and thank you, thinking that when the robot overlords come out, take us all over, they'll go,
they won't take me. I was nice to you.
Your manners are so good. We're going to leave you alone. It's all right.
Can I thank Dan Gleebles for the £1 super chat? Thanks, Dan. Much appreciated. I tell you, I had a really good experience with this. Guy came to
sorry, Mike.
Wall.
Mike, you can talk about that in a sec, but I've got to go in a second because my visitors are arriving on a boat. Listen, I'm going to turn my camera off. So if you go into Zoom and put hide non-active video participants or something like that, it means that my name won't just come up in a black box when I'm not here, but I'll come back.
Can you tell me where that option is in Zoom? I don't know. Hang on.
It's in the top right corner of the video screen bit of it.
In the view bit,
it'll say hide non-participants of video, and it makes me disappear rather than just come up with Graham Hughes.
I didn't know.
Has that been done?
Disappear?
Is it done?
Oh, that's brilliant.
You can make me disappear, Michael. It's all good. Anyway, go on. What were you saying?
So this guy Mark,
what were you saying?
He was painting a wall in the house, right? Because we got some damage, and absolutely diamond geezer. This bloke, total diamond geezer, right? Lived in Brighton all his life, 63 years old, loves Brighton, loves the diversity of Brighton. We talked all morning. And he was telling me this story about, he used to be a skinhead back in the 70s, before the skinheads were in fact, when they were incredibly diverse, right? That was the whole point of them, the music they were into and everything else. And then it became a political thing. And he was telling me this story about the Battle of the Railway Bell Inn, which is a pub that used to be opposite the railway station, which was the Skinheads pub. They were all there. Their leader was there. Guy comes down from the National Front to recruit them all, right, to get them to join the National Front.
Yeah.
And the way Mark described this, I just thought there is a cheap British movie or BBC special to be made here, right? Because he says, because we stood there, we all looked at each other. He says, I looked at Black Tony, I looked at Gay Roy, and we said, you fuck off out of our city, basically. And I just thought,
Yeah, right.
the fact you got a skinhead called Black Tony and one called Gay Roy, basically in Brighton, is just the perfect story to get rid of the National Front. And they didn't even have to have a fight. The guys just turned around from the National Front, got back on the train, and went home.
Yeah. Well, that's good. But yeah.
But he was one of the guys telling me there were people at the march, that he'd got old school friends that had gone to the march, and he rang them and said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I have friends who supported the march. I don't know anybody who's got the nerve to tell me that they were there. I watched a lot of it on TikTok, and it was bonkers. It was really weird how a bunch of foreign people were main speakers, telling the UK that their country is losing their culture.
So, South African American on a Zoom call.
A Canadian, a group of New Zealanders doing the haka, like, and oh my God, what a disgrace they are, to the actual native people of New Zealand, the Maori people, because they don't believe in that sort of stuff. And if you talk to like a regular Maori person, that group of Maoris have been sort of disowned. Like they're not like they think they're crazy. So they were up there ripping up Islamic flags. And
did you see the videos of people wrapped up in St George's crosses and Union Jacks standing at an Afghan kebab stall in the street, buying curries and kebabs and whatever to fuel them for the day?
And you see the comments to these posts, right? And it's like, that guy could have come in on a boat. Oh, but most likely he didn't. Okay, you say what you need to make yourself go to sleep at night. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's such a simple line. And if you think about it, it's been built. I mean, somebody was telling me tonight that they're worried about the way things are going on the basis that it's been a drip, drip, drip for 10 years. And if you think back to the 1930s, that's what Hitler did. It was just drip, drip, drip.
Yeah.
Germans didn't overnight just suddenly go, oh, let's all hate on the fucking Jews and become Nazis.
No, they didn't.
It took 10 years of just dripping that story into the public dialogue. And now you look at this summer, you spend a summer just putting flags up without any kind of reason for it, which then creates a discussion online that says, well, we know that there was a reason behind it. But a lot of people that just see those flags or see those posts go, oh, that's nice. Is that the women's rugby, or is it for the football, or is it just because we're proud, or whatever?
Are they?
Some people do. Some people don't pay anywhere near as much attention to the news. I come across people that say, in fact, I've come across a lot of people this week who've said to me that I purposely live in a bubble to keep away from the news. I just don't pay any attention to it, and that keeps me happier. And that's what you rely on.
Oh, that's what they do.
Yeah. They just don't
right. I thought they said that's what you do. Sorry, I was about to say no.
Christ, no.
No.
Sadly, I can't keep.
I wish I did.
Out of this damn bubble. Paula Thomas has just given us £5 saying they should have heard my math tutor at university. His family had got out of Berlin in 1933. There you go. Yeah.
Literally that, and what was I going to say? We just need to look at America to see how far it can go. We're watching it happen in real time.
Well, what do you think about the Jimmy Kimmel story?
It's outrageous. It's completely outrageous. The very idea that they threatened to remove a broadcaster's license unless they take the show off because he made fun of Trump is fascistic. It's authoritarian. And you know what? It really has been annoying me a lot, that discourse as well, especially with the English media. We talk like we listen to sort of like James O'Brien, and it's like James O'Brien, he's bringing up McCarthyism and shit like that. I'm like, you are trying to downplay this so hard. You
Yeah.
don't want to face this reality.
It's
Right? That
Putinism
this
or
is
Orbanism.
fascism.
Yeah, yeah,
This is Nazism.
yeah.
This is
It's entirely the Putin and Orban playbook. You know,
yeah,
from modern fascism terms, of you put pressure on the legal profession, put pressure on the courts, get control of parliament, and then get control of the media, and that's what they're exercising. And one of the things for me as an observer of the media side of that thing is that it's also demonstrating how broken capitalism is in America. Because one of the things that you used to have a safeguard on television was the fact that you had these local affiliate stations that would carry ABC's output or CBS's output, and they literally just licensed it to show it in Tennessee or Oklahoma or wherever. And each of those were independent companies who just affiliated to those channels, weren't they? That's the way it used to be. And now the reason that Trump can exercise this level of power is they're about to change the law to make a merger possible so that one company controls 80% of those local TV stations. Which means they're a monopoly. They're a monopoly. There's a law in place to stop them being a monopoly. And now Trump's got control of this monopoly, effectively. And
that's the Republican way, isn't it?
And they don't even have to put a law in place to make it happen. They just go on telly or onto a Poxy podcast and just say, yeah, we don't like Jimmy Kimmel, he should go. And then he goes.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Disney just cave in. And there was no legal changes that made anything happen. They didn't. Just a little threat.
It's terrible. And it should frighten the average American 100%.
But I wonder how slowly it's going to catch them.
It'll catch them when it's
I mean, what's been really interesting is watching the right-wing pundits, the Tucker Carlsons coming out against this position.
Yes.
The idea that Pam Bondi is saying, we're going to prosecute hate speech, and Tucker Carlson's sitting there going, hang on, I'll make a fucking fortune out of hate speech. You can't do that. Basically.
Yeah, right. But that's not. No, it's a different kind of hate speech.
Yeah. But that's what they're saying, isn't it? They know for a fact that if you change the law so that you can prosecute somebody for hate speech, that as soon as you get a Democrat president or a Democrat Congress, they're going to get prosecuted under that law because that's the way the system works. The Democrats not going to come in and say, oh, we'll get rid of this power we've got over hate speech. They're going to use it for themselves. So it's... I went back and looked at the First Amendment today. I'm sure that you had to recite this every morning.
No, that's not.
Just after you do your 21-gun salute or whatever.
Yes,
they do
after our
primary school.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I went back and read it, and one of the things that always strikes me is when you go back and read anything from the American Constitution or the amendments, it's written in legalese for a start, and very constitutional language, and also very 200-year-old language.
Yes, it's
So you read the First Amendment, and every Americans go, "Oh, that's all just about free speech." You go, "Actually, it's not.
It's not.
It's kind of weird the way it's written. It's
very
primarily about if you want to form your own religion, that's fine.
Yeah,
and the state can't stop you. That's the primary function of the First Amendment.
It is,
and then it goes on to talk about Congress not having the ability to prevent somebody from saying things.
It's about the government not being able to limit your speech. So we could talk about cancel culture and all that, but if people want to cancel other people and shut them up from platforms, they can do that. That is perfectly legal. You can't sit there, we can't say anything anymore, I'll get canceled. We as people can do that to each other if we want to, right?
Say what you want.
It's within the law. Say what you want, but understand there's consequences for it, and that other people might not like what you have to say.
Yep.
The First Amendment and the freedom of speech is about the government telling you what you can and cannot say. That's what it's about. It's also, it has its kind of rules and limitations in regards to, the prime example about shouting fire in a theater, Haya, and so in that, it's about the government saying, it's about the law saying the government cannot impede on the speech of other people. So that is
Well, and
why
also,
you've been allowed to have talent shows that make fun of the president. And it never matters who the president
And
is.
the Ku Klux
They will
Klan.
always,
And the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of these people, they're all
under the First Amendment, they can't be stopped.
They can't be stopped. But this was the overreach. This incident was the government saying,
and very, very specifically,
and
it
that's
says in
the
the First
problem.
Amendment, it's not actually the people. It says that you have the right to protest against the government in the First Amendment, but it's mainly the press. It actually talks about the press not being able to be controlled by the government. And in this situation, that's exactly what they've done. That's primarily that they've stopped the media, because it's a 200-year-old amendment. It only talks about the press, not television.
They try to differentiate and say the newspapers, but the media is different. It's all the same. But
guys, can you let me know if my mic is blowing wind at you? Hey, because it's getting a bit windy.
It does,
and
it stinks, Graham. Quite frankly.
Sorry. But yeah, I mean, I've heard about right-wing commentators in America. They say one little thing about trans people, and then they really get it in the neck. Oh God, that sounded awful. Oh shit, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway,
Scott Williams and Mike Dix would like to disassociate themselves from the previous comment of the now sacked host of Politics Social, the ex Graham Hughes.
Cancelled! I've been cancelled. Yes.
I'm just going to let the chat know that I just want to quickly let the chat know that I am keeping an eye on things in the chat, but I do admit that I don't know what you're talking about here.
I remember when I was here with Marcus, and everyone was trying to offer me money to get naked and jump in the water naked on the super chat.
£5 in my wallet,
and I was just like, "No, fuck off! I'm not doing it." And then people kept on giving money. Go on, here's some money to get naked and jump in the water.
Sounds like you wanted to do it because you brought it up.
I'm like, "Oh, you have to do it now. We've paid you." And I was like, imagine if I was a woman and doing a stream and then about politics, and people started going, "Take your clothes off."
But you're not a woman, you're a man.
Off now.
Sorry, Graham. Yeah. Welcome to Supertansky's life, basically.
Exactly.
Get your cock out for the lads. Get your cock out for the lads.
Again, I'd like to now disassociate myself from Scott Williams' request.
We actually chanted that once at Pride at a bunch of construction workers when we were marching.
Did you?
Yeah.
And did they?
No, they looked at us like we were mental.
Funny.
That was the 90s. So, yeah.
Construction workers being offended by people shouting sexual.
Well, that was the fun part about it. They get a little taste of their own medicine. But it was literally football chant. Get your cock out. Get your cock out.
But the people who make those cat calls, they genuinely believe that they're being flattering to the person that they're saying it to. They don't understand how belittling and uncomfortable it makes people feel when you say this shit to them. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
Not in a jokey way, but in a kind of like, "Oh, love, get your tits out." And it's not like, "Oh, wow, they must think that I've got a great body." That's not nobody thinks that. Especially not me when they say it to me.
Dan Gleebles has said in the chat, "Can I give you money for you not to take your clothes off and jump in the water?"
Yes, you can. Everyone in the chat, give me money and I will definitely keep my clothes on. I was saying earlier in one of my other streams that there's very few photos of me on the internet wearing shorts. Like there's just, I don't want it. I don't want to be the case.
Not me.
When I'm in my 60s and then like some bloody pictures surface of me in the knack on the internet, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's derailed my career now, hasn't it? As a kindergarten teacher.
Friend of mine showed me her
Excuse me.
Obviously, dating app. She scrolled through the dating app to show me what men present themselves as in the in Bumble, and It's hilarious. It is men of my age naked, or at least topless, right?
Oh, it's all is.
Yeah, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like laying like this in a provocative manner, going, "Hello,
Like I was doing when I was
ladies."
on the Zoom with you earlier.
Yeah. It's like she said, "This is why you stand out on this app, Mike. You've got all your clothes on and your hair." Basically, that's
And you're not holding a fish.
Well, I am, because I put a cartoon on my dating profile. There is a cartoon of me on a motorbike holding a big fish, basically. Just saying. I've never done this.
Brilliant. Love it.
There are,
yeah,
think,
so
go on.
I was just going to ask, like, is there any other big news stories of the week? We had Trump coming to the UK. We had a big protest against it, which he didn't end up seeing. Led by donkeys, got arrested. They got arrested for projecting an image on a semi-public building. They didn't trespass to do that.
Graham, this goes back to what we were just saying while you were greeting your friends, that the drip of the way that fascism creeps into a society, or authoritative, the authoritative nature of a government. Led by donkeys, they've been protesting like that for what, 10 years?
Years.
Yeah. They've
now they get arrested
onto the House of Commons. They've projected onto Buckingham Palace. They've projected pictures of Prince Andrew onto his house. They have never been arrested for this, right? And now, all of a sudden, when Trump has an influence over our society for whatever reason, they get arrested in a performative way in order. They're going to get a little slap on the wrist. It's not even a particularly damaging crime.
Yeah,
they'll get a small fine, but they've never been arrested up to now, and we've always had that right. And there is a massive difference between us as a country and America in that we don't have a fucking First Amendment that guarantees us the right to free speech. We have the ECHR. Yep. The only law that we have written into our laws is the European Human Rights Act, and guess who's trying to get rid of that?
Nigel Farage.
Timmy fucking Nobby's son. It's like
Tiny Nobbinson.
We are also creeping towards that, and there's a little bit of me that kind of sides with some of those people on the march who's saying Keir Starmer's a fascist authoritarian. He shuts down free speech, and you go, well, actually, there's some evidence that we're doing that.
This time he did.
Can't say he's not.
This time he did. No doubt about it.
What a time to be alive!
I think there's a definite cheek now after the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. If JD Vance ever decides to come back to this country and start talking about our freedom of speech, I hope we have a journalist who has the guts to say, so tell me about Jimmy Kimmel again and what happened there. Don't talk to us about free speech, because you guys are doing far worse over there than anything here.
But the Republicans see
show off.
Oh, what is he like?
Showing off. He loves to show off, doesn't he?
That's a nice picture of your private
beautiful
island.
Graham. It really is beautiful. It looks absolutely amazing.
Graham, the people that you just welcomed, was it Bill Clinton and Bill Gates by any chance on your private island?
No.
It's just you constantly,
I don't know.
constantly showing us empty pictures of your private island. But
all my friends are impoverished artists.
Yeah.
I chose poorly, mate. I chose poorly. When I left school, I should have got in with the thick fintech bros and the freaking the lawyers and the doctors. But no, I decided to just put my entire lot in with penniless artists, and I know loads of them. Like all my friends, it's
none of us can afford to visit you on your private island. That's how we've not been
That's
caught.
The problem, isn't it?
We're not in your little black book because we can't afford it.
Oh no! It's not even just flying to his island. It's flying somewhere, then going somewhere else, and then getting a boat from somewhere to get to that island.
Yeah, and to get.
It's not so hard. Like honestly, it's flying into Papua New Guinea. What the fuck is wrong with me? Flying into Panama City, and then you have a taxi ride to the other airport, the domestic airport, and you fly from the domestic airport to here, Bocas del Toro, and literally you just fly in and then you walk. It's 200 meters to the boat dock. You just walk to the boat dock and say, Ginger Island, please, and the boatman will take you there. Ariel,
right.
lovely guy. Just saw him. Said hello. And it takes 20 minutes to get him on a boat. It's quite a nice journey if the waves are quite flat.
Right. Let me have a look and
But
see
it's not.
how much it is
It's
to go
not
to
mad
Panama.
difficult and it's not mad expensive to get here. Like, it's not like going to cost you thousands and thousands. And as I've said to people watching these streams, if you contributed Superchats, if you contributed to the island before, like, you can stay for free. Just get in touch with me and say, I am going to be in Panama on these dates. Can I go and stay at yours? And so long as I don't have anything else going on, yeah, you can.
And if you're handy at mixing and laying cement, then very well.
That is also very good, a very good thing to have. Also, if you can put down planks of wood, this piece of wood here needs to be put into place. But yeah, it's like a few millimeters too long, so I've got to get my circular saw out and just cut the end off of it.
When are you planning to try and return to the UK and get?
That was literally the question I was going to ask.
1 week. Well, actually, I'll leave here on Friday, so I'm leaving on Friday, so less than a week. And then I've got to travel through Costa Rica, which is going to take all day Friday. So I'm going to have to leave here at like 9 a.m. And then I'll get into San Jose. I'm going to stop off in Puerto Viejo and see a couple of friends of mine. And then I'm going to continue on to the city. I'll probably get there. It's normally like 9 o'clock you get there in the evening, but the roads are fucked at the moment because they're making the road bigger, and in doing so, they make the road smaller because you're on a single track. And so I'm probably not going to get there till midnight. And then my plan is I'm going to spend the night in San Jose Airport. And my flight leaves at 6, so I have to check in and everything at 4. So Mike's so bored. He's just
I just had an idea based on the fact that Scott asked you. I'm terribly sorry, Graham's mum. Let's try and phrase this in a particularly nice way. Scott asked you if you'd wanked all over your island. I was just thinking, why don't you go for a new world record of wanking in 195 countries? But I was going to grab your book.
What do you mean by new?
I was going to grab your book and check because I'm fairly certain that you've already got that record, basically.
I think he's already done that.
Yeah.
No, there are a few countries that I just wasn't there long enough. You know, I tried on the border between South Korea and North Korea, but it's just like the little hut on the border, and you walk around the table that they use, the conference table that they use, and half of it is in North Korea and half of it's in South Korea. And as a tourist, you get to walk around it. But honestly, if I started pleasuring myself on the north side of the table,
it would be a fabulous way to get arrested in North Korea. Basically.
It'd be a very funny way.
Yeah, so not only would I face deportation, I'd also be banned from so many other countries to visit, and also I'll probably be on the sex offenders register. So yeah.
Maybe this is why they wouldn't let Tommy into Panama. Maybe that's what it is, basically. I think we've frozen on a perfect Graham Greene.
Have we? Oh, we have. It is. I was looking up to see how much it costs to go to Panama on Tuesday and come back on Thursday.
How much is that?
The cheapest flight's about £860.
Still crazy, isn't it?
A night in an airport, a night on a plane, and then I'm going to meet my mum in Liverpool city centre. She's going to take me backpack, and then I'm going to go straight to the Labour Party conference. I'm going to smell so ripe.
Is it Labour Party conference next weekend?
Yeah. It starts on Sunday. In fact, there's a Northwest drinks reception that I've been invited to. Well, it might be the Northeast drinks. I don't know. One of the North drinks. So I'm going to that at 5:30. So if anyone's going to the Labour Party conference and would like to come to the drinks reception for one of the Norths at 5:30, I will be there. Because that means free drinks, you know?
They're all the same, all the Norths, aren't they?
Yeah.
In my experience.
Northeast, Northwest, Northeast.
Living in
mad.
Everything
Northwest.
north of here is a bit shit, including London. So.
Oh, well, Essex is, but I mean, apart from that, we're all right. Hey, listen, can we just do a little advert for me and Phil doing our live show?
Of course.
We were together week on Monday in Liverpool. We'll be talking about Labour's comms and how shit they are and how we could fix them.
Do you want to give us a
7
taster
o'clock.
of how you'd fix it?
I would start doing daily press conferences at 9 o'clock. I would have daily shows on YouTube, live streams with different politicians, always with the same host who's not not necessarily an MP, but is a familiar face and someone who's happy to ask difficult questions. So it's not just a bum licking exercise, and get all the different MPs on it. Get Keir Starmer on it. Get Rachel Reeves on it. Get Wes Streeting on it to defend his stance. Just do it.
It's something ridiculously that Putin is reasonably good at as a dictator.
Yes.
He does 4 or 5 hour phone-in shows, doesn't he? And
yes, he does. People phone him in and phone into him, and he just talks to them. That's all he does, and it makes people feel like they know him. It makes people feel like there's a connection between him and them. And these politicians are so shit at it, right? Listen, every Taylor Swift fan in the world thinks that Taylor Swift is their best mate. She's very good at it. She does the whole friendship bracelet thing. She does things for the fans. You go and see a gig of hers. You're part of the gig. You get like a bracelet that flashes different colours in the crowd, so they encourage. And you feel like you're actually a mate of this pop star who you will never meet. You don't know anything about, really. And politicians are so bad at doing this. And the politicians who are good at doing it, like Nigel Farage, like Boris Johnson, like Donald Trump, they do really fucking well because people think that's my mate. I know him. Yeah, I know he's a bit of a twat, but he's my mate.
I was listening to the Rest is Politics USA the other day, and Scaramucci was talking about Ronald Reagan. And there's a story that they did a round-robin email to all the Republican voters that said if you donate $5, you could be in with a chance of meeting the president in the White House. And it was kind of like we'll randomly pick somebody's name out of all the people that donate $5 and invite you to the White House. That was the idea. But this one woman in her 70s read it as donate $5 and you can come and visit Ronald Reagan in the White House. So she turns up with this email at Reagan's
$5
at the White House with her $5. Well, she'd already donated the $5.
Hang on. Email Ronald Reagan. What?
I think it was a letter. All right.
Okay.
Scaramucci described it as an email, but because I was thinking exactly the same thing. Hang on, no, that can't be right. But then, so she turns up with this letter and says to the Secret Service, "No, I've got an invite." Secret Service, to their credit, go away and check in the office.
That's nice.
They came back to her and they said, "Listen, we didn't know you were coming. We didn't know exactly what time you were coming. So if you can spend an hour, we'll give you a little tour." And then your meeting is lined up. And she got 15 minutes with Ronald Reagan in the Oval Office, basically. And
amazing.
For all of his faults, for the whole of the White House to organise itself to do the right thing in that situation, basically.
That is the right thing to do in that situation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like anything, isn't it? It's like the racism thing as well, when you get some of these angry white Clactonites or whatever, who just have never really come across a Muslim. They've never sat down and spoken to somebody from the Caribbean or whatever. And as soon as they do that thing of, "Oh yeah, not you, mate." It's like Wayne says all the time. He gets racist jokes told around him, and then they all go, "Yeah, but I don't mean you, mate." Basically,
yeah,
you're lovely. Yeah, and I think it's the same thing with politicians in a reverse way. Is that as soon as you get some contact with one, you go, "Oh, actually, you're quite a nice human being in some way. You really are trying in some way, shape, or form." And people's minds get changed. I can't deny my mind has been changed about Sian Berry because of the way she's reacted to me as a constituent recently.
She's lovely. She's a lovely person. Yeah. My MP, Mary Foy, will be the reason I vote Labour in the next election. She is lovely. She has spoken out in defence of trans people. She's spoken out about Gaza. She was one of the rebel MPs who shot down the winter fuel allowance, shot down the going after the PIP. And like that's what I want for my MP, and I will vote for her again in the next election because I think she's a good MP. She gets shit done. And she's empathetic, and for all my criticisms of Labour, we've got to understand that there are individual MPs who are good or bad. If you do have a shit Labour MP, if your MP is Wes Streeting or some other fucking transphobe, then tell them to fuck off. But there's a deputy leader competition coming up in Labour, and Bridget Phillipson is standing, and I'm not voting for her because she's a fucking transphobe. So I'm voting for the other one. Sorry, just to go back to the thing
Lucy,
on a week on Monday.
Lucy Powell is actually a good candidate.
Yeah, that's what I'm voting for.
Before you
Hopefully
start, can I do your trick? Paula Thomas has given us a $5 and says
thank you, Paula.
there was one US state where masturbation was illegal. Scott, is that why you left America? Is that...
It was Ohio. Yeah. No. Yeah, no, it was.
Imagine getting done for that, though. I mean, like, what the fuck? Like,
Americans are very, very, very weird about that.
They are weird
very,
about
very, very prude about
I
masturbation.
never realized just how prude Americans are.
They
I
are
started hanging out with
incredibly
Americans.
prude.
And like from watching all their porn, not all of it. Obviously, I'd die.
You still got, you're only halfway through.
I'm only halfway through. There's a sign at the end that says you've reached the end of the internet. You think they're kind of like liberal, laid back, and anything goes, but no, they're really prudish. Scott's absolutely right. But can I just go back to Monday? So a week on Monday in Liverpool, we've still got tickets left. Me and Phil live in the Ship and Mitre pub. If you like your real ale, if you like your real politics, come along. Starts at 7:00. Tickets are free. There's a link to Eventbrite on this stream. I think it might be. I don't know. Might have to add one later. But yeah, if you look it up, it's called Labour Comms Are Broken. Here's how to fix them. With me and Phil Morehouse. So please come along. And also, just before that's backwards to you. Is that backwards to you?
No, we can read that.
Is that forward?
Perfect. Yeah, it says Panama Lager. Yeah.
It says.
I just want to say.
It says
Tommy,
Amanak Regel. Is that right?
Tommy. You see where I am, Tommy? I'm in fucking Panama, you little shit.
My worry is he described it as, I thought I would go to South America to go to one of the little islands. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute.
Is that what he said?
And this is why you haven't shown us who just turned up on your island, isn't it?
No.
Basically?
Did he say? That was him turning up.
Yeah, no, he was heading. He was heading out to spend. He was going to spend time on a private island.
Come on, Pickle. Pickle is filthy. Come here, Pickle. Pickle.
I don't think your dog trusts that plank. Basically.
Pickle, come on.
Do you leave that dog there?
Pickle won't go past. She won't go past this line. It's kind of funny. It's like a salt line for a ghost or something, or a demon. Demons can't go past salt lines, can they? It's like that, basically. But yeah, she doesn't like the water. She doesn't get in the water. So she gets. She's a mucky pup, and you try and like shower her down, and she's having none of it. I don't know.
She lived there by herself.
No. There's a family that lives here.
Yeah.
There's Ishmael, who's the dad, and then there's his wife Dormelina, and then there's Madeline, and then there's Lavena, his daughters, and then there's Matthias, his son.
Oh my God!
But they have their own place as well, so they come and go from here. So when they want to be here, they're here, and when they want to be somewhere else, they want to be somewhere else. But yeah, they keep an eye on my island, and I pay them to do it. Yeah. Can we talk about how we need to just reassess how rent works? They are looking after your property. Listen, landlords, any landlords out there, listen, you've got people, they're looking after your property. You should pay them.
Again, you're just demonstrating why you're not Jeffrey Epstein. Being fair, not the way it works. Not the way you make. Not the way you get rich.
Worst businessman ever. Yeah, whatever.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it, mate. You're doing good work. And also, you're saving an island from climate change. From what I saw with the concrete laying that you've done.
Yeah, we are saving it from climate. Well, I mean, it's really taken a toll here. Like when I lived here, it was so green and so shady. We had so many trees, and so many of these big old trees have fucking died because of climate change, and it's the salt water coming in. And it's kind of heartbreaking. I feel like Treebeard from Lord of the Rings, like looking at the desolation at Isengard and going, some of these trees were my friends. I mean, I wasn't like hugging them or nothing. Do you know what I mean? Nothing inappropriate. I'm not a tree hugger. But like, you know, the idea that you have trees, and I planted some trees, and there was a thing about like every man should plant a tree and write a book and father a child or something. So I'm 2 out of 3.
Can I just,
If you're interested, Scott.
can I just
Oh
check
no, I know.
the Facebook page for Ginger Island is that's the right one. I'm going to put a link in because people are asking in the chat whether they can stay there.
No, it's gingerisland.com. Don't go to the Facebook page. I never use that. I never look at it.
Is that
I
not
don't like
you?
Facebook. Well, it is me, but I haven't updated it for 10 years. Just go to Ginger Island, Jinja, Ginger, like ninja, but with a J. gingerisland.com. And there is a website there, and there's a link to the Airbnb. However, I have deactivated the Airbnb at the moment because I'm trying to get the island to a point where people can stay and be comfortable, and I don't want it to be on Airbnb where people might come here and not have the whole 1-star experience. Do you know what I mean? The least I can give them, is not a no-star experience. So, but we've fixed things so that the electricity stays on all through the night now, which we fixed a couple of days ago. And the other big thing is the walkway. So 4 years ago, we built this walkway which goes from here, the boat dock, all the way to the house. So even when the whole island's flooded, your feet won't get wet. And unfortunately, the wood that we used, it's called Lavelle, and it's okay, but you imagine it's getting all this rain. When it pisses down, it rains like a monsoon, and then it gets the heat of the sun when it's just baking it, and it gets to over 50 degrees, and it takes its toll on the wood. And if it was shaded, if there were lots of trees still on the island, then it'd probably last longer. But yeah, pieces of it are just breaking now, and so I'm gonna have to replace them all. And there's about 250 slats that I need to replace.
Wow.
Shit. So I might start. We did a thing back in the day when me and Marcus were here. We Marcus Kett from All Shorts. He stayed here with me for a month. It's brilliant. He's a professional carpenter, and we carved people's names onto the slats. People bought a slat of the walkway. I might revive that idea and do that again. Like we can have like the boardwalk of fame.
Tim Ballant hasn't put how much he's donated, but I know Tim's given a lot of super chats over the years. He says, "How much soil have I funded there, Graham?"
About half the soil that we've had has come from Tim. So thank you so much, Tim.
Well done, Tim.
And that's been that has been an absolute godsend. When I was here last year, so many people contributed to building the defences up. And the defences are great, and they've worked sort of 90% of the time. It's just that the stones that we got and put around the island, they've got gaps in them. So when the water gets like mega high, the water's just going through the gaps, and then it's flooding the island. So literally what Ishmael, the island caretaker, is doing right now with his mate is they are cementing the gaps between the stones. So when we do get these mad king tides, I mean, it's fucking crazy. Like, honestly, I can't exaggerate this enough. The tides we have here are tiny. They're like one foot, if that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just goes up a little bit, goes down a little bit. This is a lagoon. It's not like Liverpool or Bristol, sorry. But oh my God, like when the high tide comes in once a year, it's just fucking insane. It's insane. It's like the whole island gets like 1 or 2 inches of water all over it, which is bad anyway. But it's salt water, so it's doubly bad because it kills anything that's not a mangrove.
Yeah.
So I mean that, and it's why I have sort of deep personal connections with climate change. I have deep personal connections with vaccinations. I have deep personal connections with the European Union, and all of my enemies are the people who are trying to take those things away from us, or deny climate change and stop vaccines and take us out of the EU. And I just think they're such selfish bastards. And the one thing that I always say is it doesn't affect them. No matter what it is, they've got the money. They can build a fucking house on top of a mountain in the middle of an island somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, they can afford to live and work anywhere in the world. Never mind Europe.
Well, when it all kicks
Bastards.
off, you gotta get working there, Graham, because when it all kicks off, we're all moving there.
Yeah,
I
right.
reckon. I'm not even kidding, right? I reckon you could have a commune of about 30 people living here quite well, growing food and living in hammocks and making energy through solar power and fishing and going to the chocolate farm for some chocolate. I think it could be a good life on this island.
Has it got the climate to grow marijuana?
I wouldn't know, but yes.
I wouldn't know, but it does.
What we should do?
No,
we move 30 creative people there to live just the idyllic way you've just described, yeah. And then we start carving great big stone heads of Graham. And in order to put them around the island, we have to chop all the mangroves down to actually create little carts to drag them around. And then we eventually die. But people visit us in 1,000 years and go, what the fuck are all these heads of this bloke with a hat on?
I like that idea. No, I like the idea of people coming to stay and just like having a creative retreat here would be my ideal dream.
Yeah,
having an opportunity for people to have a digital detox, but not a full digital detox. Obviously, I can still get internet here. I'm talking to you, but that would be amazing. And I don't want to have to give up this place, and I don't have to abandon it because it's going underwater. So I'm doing everything I can. But wouldn't that be great? And a lot of people who go in for this kind of thing, like a private island, are twats, and they wouldn't give a shit about anyone but themselves. Whereas I won this in a game show, so for me, it's like
I think you're on a winner. I'll be honest with you, it appeals to me enormously. I'd do it. I think I'd do a couple of years there at least, and the fact if you got decent internet, so that we could carry on doing this kind of stuff, and then and talking about the environment as we did it, and then then we could just get rich tourists to come and visit us, and we'll do tribal dances for them when they turn up and sell them beads that we've made. Just be perfect.
I love it. Yeah, no, it
Sounds
would.
great.
It would. And that's sort of the romantic side of it, of you could have a good life here. You've got if you're making your money on the internet, there's no reason why you couldn't, unless you've got family connections. And obviously, I've got Kat back in the UK. I've got my dad, my mum, and everyone, my family there. So, I do need to be back in the UK. But, if I didn't have any ties, I'd be a heartbeat.
Just selfishly, what's the cancer care like on the island? Is it? Can we make sure we take somebody along who can do colonoscopy cameras? Basically, that's my only wish.
Boat.
There's a boat.
Well, look it up. It's not going to be cheap, mate. But Johns Hopkins University have a hospital here in Panama. Also, there's I can't even speak now. Smithsonian Institute here in Bocas del Toro. So there is American scientific endeavor here.
I don't want to put a downer on this conversation, but recently, I know I talk about this too much, but recently my doctor said to me, when the last meeting I had where we were talking about the fact that my tumour had gone into remission, he said, so what I need you to start thinking about, Mike, is what we do if it comes back. Because he said, you don't have the option of doing this treatment again, you can't. So it's either radical surgery or we just watch and wait and see how we go. So there's a part of me that now I'm starting to think about life of, okay, well, look, maybe I just don't need to be near an NHS hospital anymore. Maybe it doesn't matter. Because what are you going to do? You just sit around waiting to find out you've got cancer again in the care of the NHS, etc. And then they turn around and say, okay, we're just going to watch this for a while and see what happens. You think, I think I might rather be doing something better with my life than waiting for that to happen.
Mike, if you want to come over here and stay on the island, me Isla as su Isla. If you do want to come over here, you're very welcome to do so. And don't forget, it literally takes a day to get back home. If that, you fly back to Panama City, you jump on a flight that you get up in the morning, not even early, get up at 9 o'clock, go over to the main plane place, the The plane leaves at 12. Fly over to the other plane place in the airport in Panama City, and then you travel over to the main plane place, and then you fly home, and you can watch a load of movies as you fly, and the next morning you'll be back in the UK.
It's very compelling, isn't it? It reminds me of what Arthur C. Clarke, one of the predictions that he made when where was it he lived? Was it Borneo or somewhere? Or where did he?
No, Sri Lanka. He lived in Sri Lanka.
And he basically predicted that in the future, a man, as he said, I think in his quote, will be able to do his work from anywhere in the world using satellites to communicate with other people.
Yes.
And he said that in the 1950s or 60s, I think, and literally predicted what you're doing right now, predicted that you would be able to do that.
Arthur C. Clarke was responsible for the theory behind geostationary satellites.
Yeah.
Which is the bedrock of all our communication. It's satellites that stay on the same bit of the planet all the time. And he worked out that depending on how far away from the planet you are, you drop at different speeds or you orbit at different speeds. So there's a sweet spot where you will just orbit at the exactly same rate as the Earth spins, and therefore your satellite will stay over that bit of the planet. And he's the one who worked that out. And you know Patrick Moore off Sky at Night.
Yeah.
He actually he helped with the moon landings in 1969, and he also mapped and named some of the seas and the craters on the edges of the moon, because as the moon orbits us, it wobbles a little bit, and sometimes we can see a little bit more of the far side of the moon. And he mapped all that, and
they used his maps, didn't they, to choose the landing site?
Yeah,
because they were the most accurate maps of the moon, weren't they?
Yeah.
My favourite story about the Sky at Night is Chris, the guy that presents it now, used to go around to Sir Patrick's house to use his telescope as a kid, basically, and now he presents his show. It's just kind of this wonderful circular story, and also a 1960s, 70s TV presenter where that story doesn't have a terrible ending. It's like, he used to go around, look through the telescope, and nothing else happened. God for that, basically.
Everyone had a jolly nice time.
Lovely time and a cup of tea. Thank you.
It's like every single Enid Blyton book should end with some guy just turning up, just like rubbing his legs and licking his lips. Hello, kids. And then just ends, and you're like, oh my God. Because that was the 1950s, wasn't it? It was like, pedo.
It's why I'm eternally glad that I chose Trumpton as a thing to parody, basically, because you go, oh, thank God it wasn't Blue Peter or Jim will fix it or something. It's like,
Blue Peter didn't do too badly, did it? Was there any? There was the guy who was on the Richard Bacon, wasn't it? Who was on drugs.
He just took cocaine, like big deal.
Leslie Judd.
And sorry,
Leslie Judd. Sorry, I'm just fantasizing about my favourite Blue Peter presenter. I had a massive crush on. I'm old enough for it to have been Leslie Judd was my favourite Blue Peter presenter.
Duncan Durs always did it for me.
There you go. Reveals your age, I have a
Peter Duncan.
Going back to my dating profiles, right? I have an age range that I date on the basis of like, when you start talking about Blue Peter. When you start talking about Blue Peter, you want somebody that remembers the same presenters as you. Basically, it's as simple as that.
Boom. That is true. So you got a bit in common. But yeah, look, I'm gonna have to go in a minute. You guys,
I'm thinking about going as well.
Yeah, we should go. Tell us about your guests, or can you not? Who are you hanging out with?
No, it's just the island is open on Airbnb normally. So a friend of a friend has asked if they could stay here, and I'm like, yeah, right, but it's a bit of a building site at the moment. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. When I was traveling around the world to every country, I couch surfed. So I stayed with local people or people who had come from Europe or America who were living in these other countries. And it was amazing. It was just a really, really fabulous experience that I had. And when I won the island, and don't forget, I won this through crowdsourcing, whatever. Like, it was the votes that I got. Like, people voted for me on social media, and that's how I won this island. I won this island because of social media. So it's not because I was fantastic I was like George of the Jungle or Tarzan or something. I definitely wasn't. But 50% of the final score came from your public vote, and my public vote was just up the kazoo because I have friends all over the world who all voted for me, and a lot of the people who voted for me over and over again, because you could vote like 10 times a day or something. They've come here. They came here and visited me on the island. So yeah, my when I took over the place, I the first thing I did is I went on couch surfing and said, hey, if anyone wants to come to Bocas del Toro and you want to stay on my island, you're free to do so. And I had some really, really good experiences. I made some really good friends who I'm still friends with now, with people who came and stayed on the island. So Jason, who I met up with in Canada, he stayed on the island here with his then girlfriend 10 years ago. So we went out and then we had a meal in Canada last week, and we were catching up about everything we'd done. And I think it's really nice. I just like the idea of people from all over the world coming to stay. I had people from Argentina, I had people from Hong Kong, I had people from New Zealand, I had people from Europe, and it was a really cool time. It was a really cool time, and I don't want to lose that. This island. The way I run it through Airbnb now, it basically covers the cost of your stay because it costs so much in fuel to come over here, and obviously food and everything. But I don't want it to be something where only the rich can afford to come and stay on a private island. I know it's a bit of a shonky island, but it's home. I lived here for 3 years, mate. I love the place.
Paul,
look at this view.
Before you go, Paul McSubby tells us that somebody is walking to every country in the world. He's been going for 4 years so far. Did you know that?
Oh, wow. He's going to be going for a lot longer than 4 years to finish that. Look at those clouds. Look at those clouds. Look at that. That's just phenomenal. Man. Take that, AI.
Right.
But yeah, so there's a guy called Carl Bushby who's walking from the very tip of South America, and he's walking all the way back to Hull, and he has been walking now for like 20 fucking years. He was one of the inspirations for me to do the Odyssey expedition. That's how long ago this guy started walking.
Wow.
And obviously a huge part of his walk was through Russia. He kept on getting deported out of Russia, and then he would return to the point where he left off, and then he would continue walking again. And he's been doing this for years and years. He's just got, in the last couple of months, he's got into Europe proper. So it looks like now he will be actually home in Hull in the next year or so, because Europe's not that big. And I think that is a phenomenal achievement. So if you want to read more about Carl Bushby, his book is called Giant Steps, and he's boss.
You should definitely turn up to welcome him when he lands in Hull.
I plan to.
I'm going to wrap this up because it's the first Saturday Night Social. I'm glad we did that because, to be honest with you, last night was a fucking nightmare not being able to get this right. I felt really bad for you, Graham, because I promised you I'd get the thing running and it didn't.
Oh, no, man. I felt bad for you because I was like, you'd done everything right, and yet Microsoft, Bill Gates conspired to fuck up your life. And I'm so sorry.
I'm very grateful for the comments last night in the chat that reassured me that people knew what I was going through. So that's great, and I'm glad it worked tonight. Last word to urinary infection for his £2 super chat. Butte looks like that one day a year. So apparently Butte looks like your island one day a year.
Where is that?
Butte is in
Scotland.
Is it in Scotland?
Scotland.
Right.
Yeah, Butte's in Scotland.
Beautiful beaches in Scotland until you feel the actual weather.
I think I said that with such authority, didn't I? Everyone just accepted that it was true, but
you travelled to every country in the world. You're an authority on this. Of course you are.
I always get this, like if I'm trying to find somewhere and I go the wrong way, like, and everyone just says to me, "Oh, you've been to every country in the world. You can't even find the post office, you daft twat." And
that's kind of funny.
Thanks, Google Maps, sending me the wrong way.
All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Thanks to everybody in the chat. It's really nice that you turned up on a Saturday when it was unexpected. And thanks for suggesting this, Graham, and showing off your fucking island to all of us again.
I'll be back at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. For another Island Brew.
You, Scott, are a beautiful human being, and thank you very much for turning up tonight.
I'm just
It's been
lifeless.
lovely.
I've got nothing else going on. So
We love you,
Hey,
Scott.
love you
should-
too.
We'll just cut the edit of beautiful human being. Thank you, Bew. Love you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys. Bye.
Adios, amigos.
And we're out.
I'm just gonna keep waving because it's funny.